Warning: this podcast has adult content, foul language, alcohol use, and sexual content not suitable for children. This is the Tales of a Small Town Bartender podcast for entertainment purposes only. Never attempt reenactments. This is the Tales of a Small Town Bartender podcast, and I'm Tony.
I'm Sean. Hi, everybody. Welcome to National Tequila Day. That's today.
I didn't even know that.
Isn't that something? National Tequila Day, July 24th. Why do they put it on a Monday? I have no idea. Why wouldn't it be on a Friday or a Saturday?
On a Tuesday for Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, or that, where people can take Wednesday off from work.
Yeah, right.
So National Tequila Day. One thing I found out, and I knew this was the case, but I didn't know why. Tequila and mezcal are different, obviously, right? But why? It's because tequila is specifically distilled from the blue agave plant, and mezcal is a little bit more sloppy. So Mexico used to have all of these regulations and stuff like that, where actually putting the name tequila on the bottle can only come from certain provinces. I don't know what they call counties in Mexico, but certain counties in Mexico and certain cities. That's the only way they control, kind of like Kentucky bourbon, right? In the United States. But yeah, tequila used to be that way, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of places outside of Mexico that are doing tequila. I could think of like Cabo Wabo, for example, at Sammy Hagar's tequila, which isn't half bad, by the way. But yeah, National Tequila Day.
Do you like tequila?
It's got to be good tequila.
I'm not a fan.
Because
I mean, I'll drink a strawberry margarita or something, but you know.
Yeah, that's something else I learned was so Jose Cuervo was one of the first people to come up with tequila. So he's kind of like the godfather of tequila. And some of the low end Cuervo stuff is kind of shitty, isn't it?
It is.
That's terrible. Very difficult to drink.
I've had worse tequila though than that. I'll tell you. But yeah, not than Jose Cuervo. Yes.
Jose Cuervo Gold.
Yes, I've had worse. We had bought when we were in, I don't even remember where we were. Oh, we were in South Carolina. We went to the military. My son's in the military, you know. So we went to the base, and the PX, is that what it's called?
Yes, sure.
They had they have alcohol there. So we bought like the cheapest off-brand tequila, a bottle of it.
Ooh.
Oh, that was horrible. That was like rubbing alcohol.
Oh, it's so bad. Yeah, it's got to be good stuff, man. You're saying military package stores have the worst tequila going, huh?
Yes, they do.
Okay, I'm gonna have to try that. Give that a test drive next time I'm around a package store.
I don't recommend it.
Just for curiosity's sake.
Go for it.
Oh, my poor liver. So yeah, alcohol-free bars. You mentioned that before the show. An interesting concept, and I saw an article today, this afternoon, about something similar. Alcohol.
Oh yeah.
Bars. They're not serving alcohol. They're serving, and I might butcher this pronunciation. Kratom. Have you heard of that?
No, is it like a mocktail?
No, it's a Kratom. It's like an herb that the legislature is currently struggling with trying to figure out what to do with this, because there's been a couple of people that have died from overdosing on it. But what? You saw an article on this today? Yeah.
I never even heard of this.
Kratom, Kratom.
So are they making? But are they putting it in a drink, or are they? Is it like what do you do with it? Do you smoke it? I mean,
no, it's like basically like a cocktail, except for the cocktail has no alcohol in it. It's all kratom powder.
Oh,
it's like a green, crappy looking powder. You wouldn't eat it if you saw it, but you can drink it, and it gets you like super relaxed and over social anxiety, similar to alcohol. And the majority of people that go to these Kratom places are people who are recovering addicts from alcoholism. And the biggest red flag they put out there is try not to mix the two, because that can be deadly. Don't
Oh,
mix alcohol and kratom. But kratom is a huge thing nowadays. But when you said alcohol-free bars earlier, I was like, that's so strange. I just saw an article on this. So it's a growing thing. And somebody said something about kratom to me probably 6 months ago, and
yeah?
I looked at it online, and I didn't think anything of it. I thought passing fad, maybe it's illegal already. It's not, but it's probably
Huh.
going to be soon, regulated in some way.
Oh, I would hope. Now, what happens when they OD on it?
You die.
Can it kill you?
Oh
Oh, it
yeah,
can kill you.
absolutely.
Holy
one,
crap. Yeah, that
one,
definitely should be regulated then.
yeah, to some extent, I think so. But there was one guy who was a recovering alcoholic, had a few beers and an overdose on kratom, and passed away from that. That's
Wow.
that's what they said. A few beers. I don't know if a few beers like 12. I don't know if a few beers
Right.
is like 4. They didn't specify, so it's hard to say.
Yeah, I mean,
But
it could
yeah,
have been a 32-ounce beer, you know?
yeah, yeah. That's a struggle I put up with when I go to restaurants. Do you want the 16 ounce or the 22?
Yeah,
uh,
the boot.
uh,
What,
yeah.
what movie was that with the boot? Oh,
Oh
was that
gosh.
Oktoberfest or something?
Oh
No,
gosh.
what
I
was
didn't
that
see
movie?
that.
Oh, you didn't see that movie?
No, I did not.
Oh, I'll have to find out what movie that was. I don't
Yes,
remember
let me
now.
know. I want to see it.
It's a glass, it looks like a big mug, a glass mug, but it's in the shape of a boot. And
Oh,
like,
cool.
it's like, if it's on the table, it's like up to the top of your head. That's how big it is.
No.
Well, maybe not the top of your head. You're tall.
That is true.
It would be the top of my head. I'm only 5'4", so
Still a big boot, man.
yeah.
Crazy.
So, but yeah, the alcohol-free bars. What they're saying, it was reported on CBS News in January,
Yeah.
that the millennials and the Gen Zers are drinking less alcohol, but they want to go to a place with the social setting, so they're making these alcohol-free bars. So it seems to be like just a glorified coffee shop,
Right. It'll
you
be a
know.
coffee shop. Maybe they'll throw in maybe a hookah. I've seen
I
a
don't
couple
know.
of places with hookahs in them.
Yeah, we have a hookah lounge here.
Yeah, something similar to
Never
that.
been there.
Interesting. So that kind of gets back to the thing we were talking about last week, why kids aren't going back to bars, because
Yeah.
they're going to hookah lounges and alcohol free bars that are social, and
Well,
it just
and
goes.
now marijuana is legal here. I know
Yeah.
it's illegal in a lot of places, so they're doing that instead.
They have weed clubs there yet? Is that a thing?
They probably do. I don't know.
So like if you go to your bar, like where you work at, and I roll up in there and I'm sitting by the pool table and I just spark up a joint, is that socially acceptable?
No, because we can't have smoking inside.
Oh, no
So you
smoking.
can no smoking inside. You can go outside. You can smoke it outside in the smoking area. No problem.
But hookah lounges,
You can smoke inside on those. Yeah,
kind of weird.
it is.
Okay.
It is. I
It's
don't
like
know.
the double standard that existed back in the Quad Cities where I moved from to come out to Vegas. And Vegas is the same way too, is you can't smoke anywhere indoors except for casinos.
I was gonna say, not even the casinos.
Casinos you can smoke
Yeah.
inside. They don't want you leaving for anything.
Oh, of course not.
Iowa was the same way. Illinois, same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. They,
It's been a long time since we've been able to smoke in places here. 19, 20 years now.
wow, crazy. But I love the bullshit excuse they give you, like it's for your health. But what about the health of the casino workers? they
Yeah,
don't they
right?
don't matter so much. Everybody else, yeah, we got you. But the casino workers, sorry, you can go F yourself.
Mm,
So much for your
yeah.
health, right? So speaking of things we talked about last week, I want to out myself as a geographical idiot So the negative aspect is that I completely screwed up. Has anybody caught it though? That's what I want to know.
Nobody said anything to me about it.
Okay, that's good. But but it means that maybe I'm not alone on this. But you called out on it. I thought I was right, but I was wrong. I hadn't driven through. Which one was it? I haven't driven through Rhode Island as a kid, driving from New York to Florida down I-95. I drove through freaking Delaware.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Rhode Island and Delaware, I had them totally mixed up. Although
That's what I figured when I was messaging you.
in my
I was like,
defense, this is how you can tell it's improv. Number one, completely made up on the spot. And
Yeah.
number two, everything I said about Delaware or Rhode Island is probably true about Delaware.
Okay. Right.
Seafood, it's very small. It doesn't take long to get out of.
Yeah. Right.
So
Rhode Island is even smaller than Delaware.
yeah, where there's a geographical idiot, there's a silver lining to that cloud.
Yeah. So when I was saying it was expensive there, you were thinking Delaware. So you were like, really? And
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. My son, my oldest son, went to tech school in Delaware after he did BMT. Yeah. So I drove down there to pick him up after that was done. So it was a 4-hour drive from here.
Very cool. And what was your impression?
I didn't stay. I drove to the base. I picked him up. I had to get security or clearance. I had to get clearance to go. You know how it is. I had to go into the base, and I got to see his. I wouldn't call it graduation, but they have a little ceremony.
Yeah.
And then I got to see that, and then we left and drove right back home. So it was an 8-hour drive.
Dang.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just got distracted because I'll admit it. I got distracted because I realized I deleted my link for the random state generator. Now that we're talking about it, so I had to bring it back up. So now I have it back up again. All right. So anyway,
might as well do that now. Might as well do that now, right?
I'm going to save that for the end. I got quite a few. We got quite a few things to talk about here today.
Okay.
So first, I want to talk about you. Oh, Jeremy Clarkson. You familiar with him?
No.
He's a guy. He used to be a presenter on an old show that ran for decades called Top Gear. A lot of car stuff, a lot of guy stuff. Really talk.
My husband watches that.
Yeah, so do I. It's awesome. Great show. But Clarkson has a type of cider out called Hawkstone Cider. And he owns that. It's a craft drink brand. So Jeremy Clarkson said, quote, there was a massive cock up in one of his sweary Twitter updates. So he's warning people that if they own a Hawkstone cider bottle, it might explode.
Oh.
So he says if the cap has a code L3160, either open it underwater, pour it away, and get in touch for a refund. Take a picture of the product code. It's over fermented.
Oh.
So they didn't control, and I don't know why, but I just find this fascinating. They didn't stop the fermenting process prior to bottling. And now the bottles of this L3160 are an explosion hazard. Especially when you open them, you're going to let all the pressure out because it over fermented. Isn't that nuts?
This is a public service announcement then.
Yeah, pretty much. PSA. Free of charge for you. There you go.
So you guys heard that. If you owned that bottle or those bottles, get rid of them.
Hawkstone Cider, L as in Lima, 3160. Open it underwater and then take a picture of the product code and send it to Jeremy Clarkson They'll hook you up with a refill. There you go.
Wow.
So do you know where Gardner, New York is, right?
Yes.
I vaguely remember it, but Tulith Town Spirits is a distillery there, Tulith Town Distillery. And they've been around for over 230 years.
Really?
Yeah, with the construction, there's a Tooltown grist mill apparently. So the grist mill was the longest continuously operating grist mill in New York State history. So it became a National Register of Historic Places in 1982. But they make whiskey since Prohibition time, and New York State's first distillery since Prohibition, and the home of Hudson whiskey, which I've seen everywhere. I've seen it in Iowa and Illinois. I haven't seen it here because I haven't really been looking for bourbon or whiskey lately. But yeah, Hudson whiskey, I've seen it everywhere. So they've got 36 acres at the foot of Shawangunk Mountains. Did I pronounce that right?
Shawangunk, yeah.
Shawangunk. Okay.
Shawangunk. Yep.
Yeah, in Hudson Valley, obviously. And they have tours, tastings, craft cocktails, and a gift shop. So that's fun.
And we are not getting paid to tell you about this.
No, we aren't. But there's a reason why I did bring it up. Because now Tultown Spirits in Gardner has named Hudson Whiskey the official bourbon of the New York Mets.
Oh, yeah?
Wah, wah.
I'm not a Mets fan, so I don't know.
Me either, but that's a sub 500 bourbon now.
Oh, God.
Just like the Mets.
Oh, wow.
So that was a long way to go for that, but I thought that was a pretty neat story, being the oldest distillery in New York.
It is neat. And I've been through Gardner so many times, like even recently, I do paint classes out there.
Yeah.
At Yogi Bear Campground.
You have to go to one of their tours and send me something from their gift shop. I'll pay you for it.
I'll leave them a card.
So last week I talked about getting the Costco membership and the thousands of dollars worth of liquor.
Yeah.
There was like a $4,000 bottle of Macallan and a $33,000 bottle of something else. I forgot to talk about the thing that really got my blood boiling the most. So we're walking out. We bought like $350 worth of shit at Costco our first trip because
it's easy.
Yeah, because why not, right? Just get everything. So we're walking out and they're doing the receipt check, which has become standard fare at almost every freaking grocery store or department store out there anymore. But then I see this sign, and the sign says, "Why are we checking your receipts?" And if I were to ask you that, why is Costco checking my receipts, Tony? Why?
To make sure you paid for everything.
Oh, no. You and I, who would answer the same thing, are completely mistaken. According to Costco's 15 yards of bullshit, they're checking our receipts to ensure we got everything that we paid for and we're not being overcharged.
Oh, how does the person at the door know if you're being overcharged?
Thank you for that leap of logic. It's like,
okay.
What?
Yeah.
And people just look at that and they're like, yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm perfectly fine.
They're just making sure you didn't steal something.
That's exactly what they're doing. But don't lie to me.
Right.
Stop lying to me. Get rid of the sign.
Walmart does it too, here anyway. I don't know if they do it there.
Do they have a stupid sign that lies to you?
I never looked, honestly. They might.
I want to know.
They might.
We want to make sure you're not being overcharged for anything. Yeah, and this 90-year-old grandfather is going to look at my receipt and be like, "Oh, yeah, you got those grapes, 3 for $1. They should have been 50 cents." No. He's going to be like, "Where's that grand piano? It's not on your receipt. Please." Right?
I don't frequent Walmart often. I do go to Sam's Club, which is right next to it.
Walmart Senior.
Yeah.
So you had a story from last week too about from the teen years.
Yes. It's a stupid story, but it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. So I'm home. It was say dinner time. It was a weeknight. My friend, female, was out with her boyfriend who had his license. He was a year older than us, and I didn't know where they were. They were out. So the phone rings. This is back when the phone's attached to the wall,
Oh gosh, what's that mean?
This had to be, I want to say 1986.
Ooh.
So I answer the phone, and my friend's on the other line, and she's acting really weird. And she's like, "Hey, Aunt," because she used to call me Aunt, "your mom's not home, right?" And I was like, "No, she's right here." And she said, "Oh, she's not? Okay. I was trying to tell the police that my grandparents were away and that your mom's not home." And I'm like, "No, she's right here." I'm on speakerphone and I'm stupid, like
You weren't picking up.
I wasn't. I was being dumb. I was being a blonde.
It happens.
Anyway, so then the police say, "Hello, is your mother there? We want to speak to your mother." And I was like, "Holy crap, like what's going on?" So I put my mother on the phone, and they're trying to explain to her that my friend and her boyfriend got pulled over on 9W in Marlboro. Ooh. And got brought to the station. He made an illegal U-turn, and when they pulled him over, they smelled pot in the vehicle. So they brought him to the station because it was, I don't remember why they brought, probably just for the marijuana. It was illegal then. And they wanted my mother to come pick them up.
Did they find any marijuana when they looked? I
don't think so. I think she said she threw it out the window, but they smelled it, She was 16 and he was 18. That's what it was. And
I can fart in a car. I'm not going to get arrested for bullshit.
But he got contributing to the delinquency of a minor and all that crap. So yeah. So she needed a ride home and desperately did not want to call her mother or her grandparents. So she called me and she said, "Your mom's not home, right?"
So
and I'm like, "Yeah, question. She's right here."
No, she's not home. No. Why would she be home? Of course she's home. She's right here. So here's the question.
She got in trouble that night.
Oh, I was going to say, were you able to bail her ass out of the shit?
No, she ended up getting in trouble because my mom was friends with her mom and,
Mom's talk.
Yeah. So, yeah. But, I mean, the stupid stuff that we did when we were kids. Like, the same guy, her boyfriend, he had a truck. And we drove into the woods one night just to hang out and had to be home at a certain time and went to leave, and the truck was stuck in the woods. It was stuck. It was muddy. It was stuck.
What time of year was this?
It was probably fall.
Okay.
I want to say it was fall. And we were dumb. It was cold out. Had to be late fall. We were very late we were supposed to go back to her house, and we were very late getting back there. But her mom believed us, so that was good. Because I was like, they never believe you when you're telling the truth.
Hold on, Tony. This is Tales of a Small Town Bartender. You're skipping over the most important part here.
We weren't drinking.
You have a truck stuck in the forest. How the hell did you get it out?
Believe it or not, we kept sticking stuff under the tires, like pieces of stick and stuff, and we ended up getting it out. It just took a very long time.
Then you're getting home to Mom, and you're like, "Mom, we got stuck in the forest."
I want to say we were like an hour late.
Oh, that's not
getting back. But it was dark out, and she was worried. It was before cell phones, so it's not like we could just call her and be like, "Hey, this is what's going on."
It was a school night.
Yeah, back then nobody knew where you were because you didn't have a cell phone.
Yeah, that was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, if you're in the woods, forget it. You're like excommunicated.
You're walking.
Right?
Yeah, you're walking. Yeah, that's why the 80s and 90s were like the last best years.
Oh
Now
man.
there's hiding nothing now. And I can
No.
go on, we can go on for another hour just on how great the 80s and 90s were. And maybe we will. So, all right. I want to give you at least one of my Okinawa stories today.
Yes, you
Uh,
said you were going to do that.
oh my gosh. So, this is Okinawa, Japan, which is Japan, Japan is nice. You picture Japan, very modern, very chic, very clean, which on the mainland of Japan, that's true. But on the island of Okinawa, excuse me, where World War II had basically a majority of the battles for Japan, and it was just a huge turning point in the war in World War II. Well, that and I mean Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but before that, uh, Hiroshima was very much a third world country, and it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't exactly great either. But from a military's perspective, there was very little to do, which is a very bad combination because when at the time I was there, I was 19 years old, and the military did not curtail drinking at all. So
Right.
Japan didn't curtail drinking at all. So I could essentially go out and just drink however much I wanted to. And at 19, I didn't have shit for experience. I thought I knew everything, like you always do when you're 19, right? But you don't. And then combine that with graduating from boot camp in the Marine Corps and thinking you're just bulletproof and nothing can stop you. And that's a recipe for what happened. So, one of the first weekends that I'm there, uh, uh, our barracks were about 2 or 3 miles from the front gate, and the rule of law was you could get a bicycle and you could ride it to the front gate, which you had to lock it up at the front gate, walk out on the town, walk your ass back to the front gate, show your ID, get into base, ride your bike back to your barracks.
Okay.
So, so some Friday night, I was kind of a loner. I did that, rode my bike all the way out to the front gate, which is a pretty good haul, and then parked it and went out in the town. First time I'm out in a town called Kinville, which they called Sinville for other reasons we'll talk about later. But go out there and I find a bar that's showing 80s movies. So this is probably 90, 89, maybe 90. And they were showing like Breakfast Club, and I think I saw a Dirty Harry movie or something. But they had this stuff, I think it was called Soju. I'm not exactly sure on the name, but what it basically was is like that stuff you make in a cooler with that has all kinds of fruit in it, and
Oh, right.
it's like tastes like fruit punch.
Yep,
Uh,
I've seen that before.
it's like the ghettoized version of that because it's a small third world country bar, and they sold it for $2 for a liter.
Ooh,
Yeah, and it's just big and red and freaking delicious. And
I bet.
man, was it good. And I think I put,
So I feel like you were like the Kool-Aid man when you drank that.
oh yeah, believe that. Yeah, I probably put 4 of those bad boys down, and then I knew I was in trouble because I stood up and my first 2 steps weren't forward; they were sideways. That's a bad sign.
Yes.
So I'm like, "Yep, time to go." So I head for the door, and there's a uh, little gutter that doesn't have the cleanest looking water through it, and my sneaker found that,
Yeah.
and got back to the base, show my ID. I remember that, and I remember getting on my bike and unlocking it. I had the wherewithal to do that. And then as I'm riding back, within the first 30 seconds of getting on my bike, I know I remember nothing. The rest of this
Oh,
was pieced together from stories from other people. So I made it back, and to the back of our barracks, there was a hill through the woods, which leveled out onto a basketball court and went down another little hill, and then there was the barracks. So I come screaming down the hill, hell bent for leather, I guess, and go across the barracks. And there was a couple Marines from my platoon out back having drinks, and they're like, "Holy shit!" And because they saw me coming down, and I cleared the basketball court, started down the little hill, and totally forgot about the drainage ditch.
Oh no.
So Okinawa is known to get hit by typhoons. So when you say drainage ditches, I'm talking up to basically my head deep and longer than I am long across. They're tremendous.
Oh no.
They're so big. It's insane. And my bike went down the hill directly off into the drainage ditch, and my tire planted in the opposite wall, and I completely plastered against the wall of the drainage ditch. And the guys came over and they were like, "Oh my God, are you okay? Are you okay?" And I laid there for like 30 seconds and then picked myself up and went to bed. The next morning, I get woken up by a broomstick handle,
Oh.
and my head is absolutely splitting.
Oh
As
yeah.
you can imagine, one of the first few huge drinking hangover fits you've ever had. Yeah, it's one of those. So it's splitting, and I crack an eye, and they're like, "Oh, good, you're not dead." And then I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" So they go on and explain this whole story to me, and they're like, "Dude, come here." So I go out, I pick myself up, I look down, and I'm covered from neck to feet in mud. I'm like, "Oh, this can't be good," because I don't remember any of this shit. And then go out the back of the building, and then go over and look. And my bike, the front tire is still stuck in.
Oh.
The entire bike rotates around the front fork because the
Wow.
front tire is so deep in it. Yeah, I had buried that bike so far in that ditch that basically it became legend after that.
So, you know what I pictured when you were telling me that story? Do you remember the Roadrunner cartoons with Wile E. Coyote?
I do.
And how he used to splat on the wall?
Yeah. That's exactly it. I think you nailed it right there. Yeah, you absolutely nailed it. Love it. So yeah, that was the story of basically the Okinawa bike riding soju adventure, I suppose. So you have
I have a drunk or a kid.
Speaking of
yes,
being drunk,
I do.
So what do you got for drunk or a kid? Hit it.
Okay.
All right, so hold on. Just so everybody at home is your first time listening, she's going to give me a story that somebody has told, and I have to guess whether this person was drunk or a kid when this happened. All right, we're all set. Set the table.
Okay.
Feed me dinner.
Okay. I don't know if you want to eat this one, but okay.
All right, now I'm interested.
All right. Peed on the floor and then drank an entire bottle of chocolate syrup. Am I a drunk or a kid?
Oh my gosh, that's a good one.
I know.
Peed on the floor. Wow.
And then drank an entire bottle of chocolate syrup.
All right, I am leaning, just because this sounds like a college frat thing, I'm going to lean 51% to 49% adult. I am drunk.
Okay. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Woo-hoo!
And here's the rest of the story.
Yeah.
Peed on the floor in my own house, drank the entire bottle of chocolate syrup, and I got pissed when I couldn't make chocolate milk because someone drank all the syrup.
Oh, I love it. Good one. That's a really good one.
That was a good one. I was like, that could be either or, you know?
All right, I have one for you.
Okay.
Got lost in the dark in my family's small home's basement for 2 hours, sat down and cried because I thought I was going to die there.
I'm gonna say kid.
I was 32 years old.
Oh God.
Lost in his dark family's small basement for 2 hours, couldn't find his way out, and thought he was going to die at 32.
That's crazy. He must have been really drunk.
Yep, for sure.
Wow.
So there's a couple of things coming up that are pretty big, especially for drinking. And we want to put the toss out there. If anybody knows anybody that's a bartender, anywhere up there with Sturgis, where Sturgis happens. I mean, if we can land somebody from the Full Throttle Saloon, I mean, that would be just next level. But
Yes,
absolutely. But I mean, any bar up there, and there's got to be 50 freaking bars up in Sturgis. But yeah, August 4th to August 13th. Have you ever been?
I have not, but I know a lot of people who have.
Yeah, fun time.
Yeah, that's what they say. I don't know. Nobody's ever had a bad time, so nobody that I've spoken to has ever said they had a bad time. You know.
Cool. Yeah, I used to live on I-80, or used to live close to I-80, where I would have to drive on I-80 and 280 all the time, and it was always very, very obvious when Sturgis was happening. That traffic should start picking up pretty soon, August 4th to the 13th. Yeah. So
yeah, we have a friend that's actually having his bike shipped out there, and then he's going to fly there, and then he rides his bike while he's there, and then he has his bike shipped back, and he flies home.
Pretty common. Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's intense.
Expensive.
Yeah.
Expensive, but avoids the miles, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, if you know anybody, any listeners know anybody from up in the Sturgis area has got, been there for a while, got any great stories? Yeah, and anybody from the Las Vegas area too. I'd love to interview a Las Vegas bartender. That'd be great. Somebody down on the strip that gets the down and dirty and the details of everything that happens behind the scene. That's what this is all about. Let's tell some bartender stories, right?
Yeah.
And don't forget Halloween. If you have stories, if you had stories about haunted bars, your haunted house, your haunted back seat, I don't care. We don't care. Just send us your stories. talesofasmalltownbartender.com or at gmail.com, pardon me. talesofasmalltownbartender at gmail.com. And then the website is talesofasmalltownbartender.com. Anything to add to that?
No, you pretty much covered it.
All right, cool. All right, so let's pick a random state. This is New York State versus a random state, which is 100% made up on the spot, as was demonstrated last week. Let's pick a random state. The random state is Montana. Ooh.
Oh.
I do not know much about Montana, although the one good thing I can say, and I don't know if this is still the case, because I've heard both sides of this, is that no speed limit in Montana.
Really?
Yeah, there's signs on the major interstates say reasonable and prudent.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, reasonable and prudent speed limit. So interesting from that aspect. Not interesting is the 9 months of winter. Don't like that.
Yeah, I do want to go there though.
Yeah, it seems like a place that's nice to visit.
Yes.
You could get like a bed and breakfast, or what do they call those houses? That
Airbnb.
Yeah, an Airbnb.
Yeah.
Get an Airbnb, rent it for a couple weeks, and live in Montana for a couple weeks and just rough it and ride horses or whatever.
In the summer.
In the summertime. Or even in the wintertime, if there's like a hot tub with a fire, that would be awesome.
I'm not a winter person.
Well, a fire in a hot tub takes all the winter chill away.
Yeah.
But
all right, let's do it.
Summer would be best. So Montana versus New York. What do you think?
I think for me, New York, because I am not a winter person, although I have winter here. I don't want any more winter than that.
I'm going to agree with you this week. I'm going to say New York, just because of the amount of things there are to do. And I'm not a fan of 9 months of winter. That's exactly why I moved to Las Vegas, because it might be 115 degrees outside right now, but I don't have to shovel it. So it's going to be New York for me.
Yeah.
So there we have it. That's Montana versus New York. And
I wonder if we have any Montana listeners out there, I want to know how your pizza is.
that's actually a very scary proposition. In fact,
I want to know.
Submit it for the haunted bar stories coming up. How's your pizza? So
Definitely
just one
wanna know.
quote before I close out here, or before we close out. I'm sorry, I shouldn't exclude you. Before we close out here, from Oscar Wilde. After the first glass, you see things as you wish they were. After the second, you see things as they are not. And finally, you see things as they really are. And that is the most horrible thing in the world.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true though, because beer goggles. Sometimes you see stuff that isn't actually,
There's something to be said for that. I will give you a yard for that one. That's it.
What do they call that when you wake up in the morning and you're like in shock that you stayed with somebody?
It's called Coyote Ugly.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
You'd rather gnaw your own arm off than wake her up.
Yep.
If I remember that right. So call me out if I got that wrong.
No, I think that's right.
Okay. Anyway, so that's Oscar Wilde. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in. And once again, send in your stories, your drunk your kids, your Halloween stories, your haunted house, haunted bar, haunted car, Christine. Who cares?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
Tales of a Small Town Bartender at gmail.com. So thanks again. And I'm Sean.
And I'm Tony. Thanks for listening.
Talk to you next week.
You can contact us in many ways. Email at talesofasmalltownbartender@gmail.com. Our website at www.talesofasmalltownbartender.com. Facebook, facebook.com/Tales of a Small Town Bartender. Instagram, Tales of a Small Town Bartender. TikTok, Tales of a Bartender. Twitter, at bartender_tales, and on our Patreon page, patreon.com/Tales of a Small Town Bartender.
Way to go, Sean, dork.
We got it. Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Alrighty.
Do I sound all right?
You do.
I sound a lot better on my end.
Oh, that's good. No more echo?
No.
Okay. I'm not even going to attempt to do it with the Yeti because I think that screwed it all up. I don't understand why it would.
Me either.
Do you know anything about SEO for websites?
What the hell is that?
All right, never mind.
Second English language? No.
I don't know what it is. I know that there's a thing called SEO that we're supposed to use to get views on like Google and stuff. I don't know.
I can Google it. Google it. You'll find out more about it.
Yeah, I will. I see it there all the time, and I'm like, should I do it? I don't know. I don't know what it is. So,
All right.
not that matters. All right, so we're starting from this one. I can delete the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently I didn't edit out some coughing from the last one, and I was told about it.
Somebody told you about it?
Yeah. So I went and edited two. There was two. I edited it. It just didn't take it out. And then when I did it today again. And when I hit save, it didn't save. So I was like, oh, maybe that's what happened last time because I had to do it again and then it worked. I don't know.
Your patience is queen like.
Queen like.